Now, for more on FIFA's future and legacy, I spoke with Andrew Jennings. He's the author of The Dirty Game, uncovering the scandal at FIFA. I began by asking what shadow these ongoing corruption scandals might cast on future World Cups.
We expect the results of the Swiss inquiry, at least some of it, early next year. Now, I think they're going to find the bribes from Russia, which leaves them a year to find somewhere else to send the World Cup to. And they'll find it's ridiculous. There's no way that British fans or fans from any country outside the Gulf is going to travel to Qatar. It's a joke.
So with that being said, do you think then that this scandal will deter fans from then travelling to these matches once you have that shadow kind of cast over the games?
Well, yeah, I mean, the ordinary fan, there's no way they can book into a hotel in Qatar, but I don't think it's going to go anywhere because the agencies rush away from this. But the fact of life is they put it on in the autumn now, and they're just telling the Brits, oh, by the way, you're going to have to cancel your league, just postpone it for 6 weeks. Can you imagine the British fans putting up with that? It would be the death of FIFA.
Let's turn now to former FIFA President Sepp Blatter, who's in the process of appealing his 6-year ban. He seemed optimistic going into the hearing. Should he be?
He must be living in a world of delusion. Let's look at the reality. He's being investigated by the Swiss Attorney General and by the FBI. They've been on his trail since 2009. And when I first met them that year, late 2009, they showed me their business cards and they said organised crime. Now, he hasn't got a hope in hell of walking away from getting charged and going to prison. So it's all a bit of a farce, really.
Now, a lot of this comes down to the issue of transparency. We saw that Gianni Infantino promised to clean up FIFA, but then was himself only just recently cleared this month of ethics violations. So with that being said, what does all this mean then when it comes to FIFA's credibility?
It means they've got a lot more to do. I think there have to be more arrests. As a journalist, I should take great fun in reporting it and getting a bit closer to the truth. But Infantino has had a very gentle press because they've not got real reporters on the scheme. They're, sort of sports reporters. They're not cut out for the kind of work that's required here. So it'll go on for a long time, I think.
So do you think perhaps with having sports journalists kind of now having to foray into investigative journalism, is that why you think we're not getting the real story here?
Well, yes, nobody's digging. They're just taking, it's what a German friend of mine calls the he said school of journalism. Well, he said he's innocent. Yeah, maybe. Doesn't stop the feds picking up the tab and saying, get on the plane, sir.
In terms of how Infantino is doing in his 6 months so far, how would you rate his performance?
What do you expect? He's younger than Blatter. He's not as filthy because I do believe, in fact I'm quite certain of this, that for years under Havelange and then Blatter, it was an organised crime syndicate. Not a few guys, taking some money and they shouldn't, just the handful. It really, really needs a complete clean-up, and I don't think Infantino is the man to do it.
Now, at this point, Infantino has not signed his compensation agreement. So if you look at the job, how much is it actually worth?
Well, there's only about 1 million people, men and women around the world, who do the job for expenses.
FIFA admitted that these corruption scandals are deterring new sponsors. So in the grand scheme of things, what impact are all these scandals having on the actual game?
Well, you're quite right. There has been a flowing out of the door of these sponsors. But I think the truth is there's lots of fuss going on, or they're saying nothing, depending on the time of year. But the games cannot go to Qatar. Nothing wrong with the Qatar people, but they can't go to Qatar anytime.